What's up, everyone? Tushi here. Not too long ago, Honkai Star Rail, or I should say MiHoYo, Hoyoverse, whatever you want to call them, finally revealed Jing Wang's banner. We're going to talk about all the 4 stars. We'll talk about Jing Wang, of course, and we'll talk about his weapon banner as well. The 4 stars on this banner are really, really good. It's really good if you're a Clara main, because every single 4 star in here you probably will use in your team comp. I would go as far as to say I think a team comp of all 3 of those characters might actually not be that bad. Considering, well, you're using Clara as a defensive option, offensive as well, you can use her as your frontline tank, put the shield on her from March 7th, and you can use Su Sheng to be your main damage dealer in that team, because you're not going to really be using skill points aside from the occasional E from your Ting Yun, and then your E from your March 7th, and that is if you're doing bossing situations. However, all of these 4 stars are extremely good, and I'm kind of jealous because I went ahead and summoned on Seal's banner. The 4 stars there are not as cracked as these, in my opinion. These are really good 2 support options, March 7th and Ting Yun, especially Ting Yun as a really nice battery character for your single target damage dealers, your AoE damage dealers. She boosts the attack of all of your characters, or any character you choose. Rather, she is a single target attack booster, not a team-wide attack booster like Bronya, so it's a little different, but she will boost the attack of whoever you choose that may be. Normally, you have 1 to 2 DPSs in your team comp anyways, unless you're crazy and you have like 3 DPSs in one Ting Yun. But she's really nice because she gives energy to your ally, which allows you to use your ultimate much more often. I think Ting Yun is a really strong character, and like I said before, I'm very jealous because I didn't get this 4-star on Seal's banner. March 7th, a really nice option to use with best in slot, really, with Clara. I used her a lot in the CBT, and I'm very happy to see that everyone is enjoying using March 7th with Clara in the live service of the game. I've been seeing lots of clips with these 2 characters popping off, and I have to say it is really impressive. The synergy between those 2 characters is unmatched and unrivaled by any other duo in the game. Maybe even Bronya Seal. And then we have Su Sheng, who is a very, very nice character. This is a very nice 4-star DPS character. I use her a lot. I do have a team currently where I use Su Sheng and Seal together because both characters are really, really good in what they do, and that is single target damage dealing. Su Sheng, especially whenever you are fighting enemies that are weak to physical damage. She's very nice in that regard because her shield break is massive. It results in massive damage and allows you to push up your turn order because you will have a speed increase, and then you will also have an action bar increase whenever you break the enemy's shield. So she's very nice in that regard. And you can actually do a little tech where you use her E skill first, you use her ultimate, and then you use her E skill again to get maximum damage out of the character. She's a very nice 4-star single target damage dealer. And then of course Jing Wang himself, or should I say King Wang. This guy is going to be really cracked. He reminds me of Kamamura from Bleach, the way he fights with his stand. I guess in Bleach, that would be the Bankai or Zanpakuto, which is a little different, but more or less the same thing. This guy is cracked out. You can see him with a lion, so you know he is no joke. One of the best characters in the game, actually that's a tiger, not a lion. One of the best characters in the game for sure when he releases a very nice lightning DPS, AoE damage dealer at that. You probably would use him in a team with Herta, perhaps. Maybe you use him in a team with Himiko. Maybe all 3 together. Who knows? But he's a very nice character to have in your account if you are a fan of just how he looks, right? He looks pretty badass. A lot of you might think he looks a little handsome, and I understand that 100%. He is a very attractive male character. But he's also a top tier character that will be coming out in the near future. So definitely stay tuned for that. And now we have the weapon banner. Now, I advise free-to-play to skip this banner because I always suggest you to get new characters over new weapons, or should I say characters over weapons, because characters and allow a new playstyle. You could argue that weapons allow new playstyle too whenever you get a weapon like Bronya's best in slot 5-star light code, but ideally you could miss the 5-star weapon on this banner and end up getting a weapon that you probably won't be able to use on your account because you need the character or the path, and the path of those the characters that are in that path you might not have on your account. So that's why I really don't suggest going on weapon banner. It is a 75-25, but still 25% of people will fail on average, and you don't want to be a part of that 25%. But however, if you are a light spender, his light cone is very, very good. It boosts up his general damage. Very nice option. If you don't have any other light cones, but this definitely will be best in slot, no joke. Definitely boosts up the capabilities of Jing Wang himself, and like I said, if you are a light spender, definitely go for the weapon. The 4-star weapons on this banner are okay. March 7's weapon you can get from just farming in the game. Dan Heng's best slot weapon you can get from just farming in the game. However, this weapon here, Dan Heng's weapon, which is interesting enough, I found that these weapons here match the 4 stars on the other banner. Ideally, if you use Dan Heng's weapon on, Su Sheng, you're going to get a lot of value just because of the nature of how the character works. So definitely is a top tier option for Su Sheng. Very nice free to play option, I would say. March 7th, well, it is best in slot for the character because it boosts her defense, which in turn gives a stronger shield to her or the ally. In this case, you would give the shield to Clara, which will be a stronger shield for that character. And then Asta's light cone is actually cracked because it allows you to use it with Ting Yun. And then if you're using Ting Yun with Jing Wang, which you probably will if you summon on the banner, of course, then you will have a damage increase because the way Asta's light cone works, I should have a picture of it on the screen, the description of it. If you actually put it on the character element that you are, so essentially, if I put it on Ting Yun, it boosts the element of the wearer that is using the light cone. In this case, Ting Yun would be using the weapon, and that in turn would mean more lightning damage for every other ally that is also lightning. And in this case, Jing Wang would have his damage boost. So a very strong option if you plan to use Ting Yun with, Dan Heng, Jing Wang. Now here I am on Genshin.gg, which is a very decent site for the early game to mid game to late game. It probably will not be as reliable as everything else in the future, but ideally you should definitely take into consideration most erudition light cones will be good on Jing Wang because he is a part of that path that abuses AoE damage. These are going to be the upgrade materials you would need for the character. This is going to be the best build you could honestly use with the character. The 4-piece lightning damage increase, of course, this is a no-brainer because this probably was made with Jing Wang in mind. And of course, you ideally want to use the elemental skill of the character, and this is to increase your attack so that you have more damage from your ultimate and more damage from your additional attack from your stand, or should I say follow-up attack, because that's how the character works. And then this light cone is no joke. Being able to increase the crit damage of Jing Wang is insane. You just get a flat crit damage increase, 36% at the first level, so R1. That is massive. And you increase the skill and the ultimate damage by 18% at the first level. And then your follow-up attack damage is increased by 48%. This is going to be best in slot for Jing Wang, best in slot for Himiko, and definitely best in slot for Herta. So if you are a main of any of those 3 characters, you probably do want to pick up this weapon. That is assuming you are not free to play, or if you're feeling lucky. And then if you don't have that, then of course Night on the Milky Way is still a very nice option to use on the character, because ideally you would want to boost up the attack of Jing Wang, and you want to use him in AoE situations. And mostly you can still use him in single target situations, but having him in an AoE fight would be very nice, especially when you're farming, or just in general, any type of situation where you're fighting multiple enemies. You'll boost the attack every time there is another enemy on the field, up to 5 times, and that will in turn make Jing Wang do massive amounts of damage, increasing overall his attack. Is very nice. And then the weakness of break effect is very nice, considering you probably will be using him against enemies that are weak to lightning, and then when you break the weakness of those enemies, then you will be dealing even more damage because you'll have your damage deal increased as well. And then the 4-star options are still pretty good. This one right here, you should get this for free in the game, or you probably get this from summoning in the banners, either or, but still a very nice 4-star light cone to use with Jing Wang. And then of course, Herta's light cone is still pretty good because you deal increased damage with follow-up attacks, which is still very nice. And then whenever you attack the enemy that is less than 50% HP, then you will deal even more damage from your follow-up attacks. So still pretty good because the follow-up attack in this case for Jing Wang is his giant guardian or stand-like figure. If you are a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that's the best way I can kind of describe it. If you are a fan of Bleach, said before, Komamura. Well, that will have its damage increase from this light cone. So definitely a very nice option at that. And then ideally, you would want to build him with crit rate, crit damage, of course, because he is a damage dealer, a main DPS at that. Attack percent. Speed is what it says here, but you can honestly go for more attack percent. And then break effect is also pretty good. That's going to wrap up the video here. I hope you got something out of this. Jing Wang will be releasing in the next few days, and I could not have been more excited for this character. I definitely will try to get him on one of my accounts just to showcase the character for you all and show exactly how he works. He might be confusing at first glance, but I promise you not, he's not that complex. Hopefully I win the 50-50 so I can obtain the character and, present that to you all. If you choose to summon for the character, I hope your summons definitely go better than mine so you can actually obtain the character for yourself. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.